Why, bless you. Hello and welcome to the stream. I am very shattered, and this stream, I'm Madcat, and on this stream we'll be going into some more Roadcraft. I was going to do some Satisfactory. Hawk wanted to do some Roadcraft, and I think given how my brain has been fried by today, it's probably not a bad option. But we will be diving into a new map. I've pretty much finished. In fact, let me just click on this and just find out. So I'm 93% done on the other map. It's just a couple of final little bits to tackle. I'm not going to drag that through on the stream, so we are going to go onto a completely new map. Hawk will be joining shortly. Carol, unfortunately, still is having issues with the game. Their bug fixes kind of caused a new bug, so we're just waiting for that to get fixed. But they have announced that they are going to be releasing a big patch soon. So we will see if that helps. And hello, Penella. Welcome in, my love. Thank you very much again for the continued subscription. And nap streams. Nap streams are good. Hey, Jay. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hope you and Tabitha are doing well. So yeah, I've not really got too much more to say, so I'm just going to go load the game up. So we click on that one, so we've got game, we've got music. So yeah, going into incommunicado. Incommunicado? Not in communication, I think it means. Communication towers and power lines were critically damaged in the wake of the hurricane, leaving almost the entire region devoid of electricity and cut off from the flow of information. Your mission is to venture into this rugged terrain, deliver essential equipment, and restore radio communication. Seems easy enough. So I did purchase a vehicle to start the map on, so we now have the Don 72 Malamute. Started screaming after that. Aww. Just wanted more friends to sit around with. Yeah, I was describing how Tabitha was like eager to get the treats off me, and if I had my hand closed, it'd be. Oh, right. So, devastating hurricane. Your local company is dispatched to the area to assist in restoring. Did I just say my local company? Your company is dispatched to the area to assist in restoring local infrastructure. My God, I swear I slept last night. Maybe, potentially.
Connection unstable. Too much static. Tried switching to reserve band. No dice. Yes, the relay problem. Reach the relay and investigate. I repeat, reach the relay and investigate. I move fast before it cuts completely. Do you read?
I mean, yes, I do. I can also draw. And I can actually write. So yes, we've got a full set of skills here. I don't know what my reading comprehension has to do with anything. Right, so let's have a gander at the map. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to see from the map. This looks like your traditional Plymouth weather. Cloudy with a spot for the sunlight to come through. Hi Dad, can I have a sandwich? Right. Let's see what this thing's like, because I have not driven it yet. So far, all I can say is it's thick. Should be good off-road, I would like to say. Oh yeah, it seems to tackle that fairly well. That's good. Interestingly, the patch they're bringing out as well, it's got an option there that is such a small thing, but I kind of like it. It's the ability to turn the engine on and off, because it's what people were clamouring for because they're so used to it with Snowbird, and they've gone, you want it so much? Yeah, sure, we'll let you have it. But they are going to be releasing a hard mode in September, I think it's planned for, where they're going to have more snowboarding mechanics such as fuel, and I don't know if they're going to put damage in. I sure as hell hope they don't put damage in, because the damage in SnowRunner is wonky, and I've gone completely the wrong way because I just saw this and went ooh, and ADHD'd my way through to it. So we shall turn around. Greetings and salutations, Captain. Hello, welcome on in. Hope you're doing well this evening. I should set this up for multiplayer, shouldn't I? That would help. Momentous, I completely forgot about that part. Multiplayer, start session, copy the code, and then I'll put that into. And I should also jump into Peanut when Hawk shows up. I don't know if you wanted to give it another world car roll and see if it's any more stable for anything. We'll click on that, and then go back to that. Everyone in chat, please observe the prediction for today's stream. Wait, what? There'll be a prediction? What are you talking about? I'm lost. What are you doing? What are you doing? No. Now I'm curious. There's just a lot of Twitch on here. Stop rolling backwards, you. I could probably do it on the PC a bit quicker. Oh, no, balls. Didn't want to do that. No, go away. Whoops. Ah! I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm going to load it up on the desktop. I'm less likely to break shit. Yeah, by all means, yeah, that's fine. You know, it's absolutely okay. I probably should be able to, but I probably can't. What does that? No, that's channel points. Don't want to. Oh. Okay. Will there be a Fiddlesticks today? Well, yes. Wait, no, I can't jump into the game from stream. I have to go jump into the game to jump into the game. I love to-do lists. Let's have a look at my to-do list. Have I got a better view now? Ooh, I do. Ooh, what's this? I've got a Highland base. There's a semi-truck. Ooh. Okay, let's have a look. So, visit the steel beams, restore functionality relay, set up the Highland base. I'm assuming that is... Okay. I thought that would have to be... Gas station, Highland base. I thought I'd be driving that truck up there. So what's that there for then? Staff really lot want to do consume the stocks of argon gas, create some extra reserves, seaside town near the port, be the best spot to search, find the town, get the gas tank, bring it to the relay. Right, so I don't know where that is. Oh, I've got to deliver that vehicle. Deliver the semi-truck to the relay. Right, okay. That's fine, that's easy enough done. Okay, so if I drive down that road and up to the Highland base just to park my ass out of the way, I can then... That's the bridge, don't go that way. I can then see about what I need to do. Also, I'm not quite sure if my volume's got... if it's too loud or something. Let us know. This is a fairly loud truck, I've just noticed. And that was kind of deafening me, but I can turn my volume down, but I don't know about the stream one. Honk. Right, okay. So, track, deliver vehicle, jump in.
Our relay can't do much without fuel, unfortunately. So, here's the plan. Deliver the semi-truck from the gas station to the relay. I hear no objections, so I consider the motion passed.
There we go. We'll get them out of the way. Do. This way? I think this way. Looks to be this way. Oh no! My cabbages! Also, out of interest, has anybody else had issues with the YouTube on desktop? It's like PCs and stuff like that.
Greetings and salutations.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome on in.
Hello, chat. I'm assuming you can hear me.
I mean, they should be able to hear you. I can hear you.
Well, that's
I
the
mean,
semi-truck squared
yes,
away.
this is true.
Just so you
But
know, you're starting to
hey,
improve
there we go.
over here.
We've got a hello Chiron from Banana.
Right, set up the Highland base. So we want to have... Start plotting. So they're going to come from there. So let's run them the same way?
How crafty is the road being? Greetings, Revtet.
Yes, greetings, Griffin. Welcome on in. It is being relatively crafty. It's more the trees lying across it that I'm more worried about. But considering I've just drove the crappy semi-truck up here, this shouldn't be an issue. It's just I've got to deal with all the drunk drivers. Let's tip that there. Oh, wait, no. Delete that last point. Go there, then there, then there. And then straight home to base. Off you go. Let's see if these guys can get there without crashing. I have no confidence. Visit the steel beams facilities. Somewhere out there. Right, okay. So head back to the relay. Follow the mucky road. There's been a lot of... that water? Or is that... Oh no, it's just grass, I think. So if I head to where that tractor is, that's a good point to turn off and then drive straight towards the steel beams. Okay. Oh, wrong one. Oh, of course, yeah. It needs me to say I want to be in my scout. That is loud in my ear. Ugh. Do, do, do. Woo, woo, woo. Why has it failed? What did it fail on? How could it fail? Because you couldn't get past a tree.
Sounds about right.
Let's have a look. What he's... Oh, I see what he's doing. Doink. Okay. Okay. I get it. Let's move that away from there. Tell them to go from there. Oh, God. There are times where I wish these drivers would have some sense to them. I played a cute Factorial Stardew Valley mix game called My Little Rocket Lab. Demo on Steam. Ooh. I may have to have a look into that. Oh, my giddy. This goes into a fucking tree. No, don't want to spectate.
My little rocket lab. My little rocket lab. My Shamronan.
I mean, it's better than what was going through my head. I was like, my little rocket lad, my little rocket lad. Do, do, do. Oh.
I can't find it. My little rocket lab.
Why are you...
Oh, wait, no, Little Rocket Lab. It's not my Little Rocket Lab, Little Rocket Lab.
What are you stuck on? Oh, the fucking oil barrel. Right, okay. Back to the car. We're gonna have to go rescue the idiot.
It's okay. It's just one of them where it's like looking at it, I can't find it. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, it's a very nippy car, this one. And it also doesn't sound like the engine's braking every time it tries to move, which is very good. Ah!
Usually slightly advantageous.
Hey, Seba, welcome on here. No worries, Hannah. You'll go get food. It's one thing that about the Hummer, the Invictus, it sounds like it's going to blow its gearbox or the engine just because it always seems to sound like it's over revving.
Wait, I'm here to observe the chaos?
I think it's just you're here.
I take absolutely no responsibility for the well-being of this stream.
Neither do I. Wait, hang on, I'm supposed to.
That being said, you know, if anything kicks off, I will just ban with game, ban them and just be like, yep, you're gone, you're gone, you're gone.
Yeah, so Roadcraft on 72. Yeah, it's definitely a better vehicle here. And the other advantage as well is it's not like hidden behind, like the Invictus is technically a DLC animal vehicle. Come on, mate, off you go. whereas this is just more level locked. And unless you need a very thin scout vehicle, you know, what I've seen of this so far, I don't see any reason not to pick this. It wasn't too expensive. I think it was 20 odd.
You can get bust through there, mate.
Oh, luckily, I mean, this thing's wider than most buses, so if I could get a bus through, then this should go as well.
Repairing the power substation and restoring the
That's not how physics works.
Shh.
After all, you can't really do much without juice. But it's going to take some driving. This time, I'll ask you to take the truck loaded with steel beams from the relays yard to the power substation. For sure you can handle it. But please exercise a little caution. If the truck turns over, you'll be in a lot of trouble and a long way from help. By the by, we had a driver up and quit on us. Just not cut out for the job, I guess. Only 18 hours behind the wheel was enough to send him running. Didn't even deliver the truck of steel beams all the way. Left it next to the town church. Could you bring the truck to the garage? Would be a great help. And net you a nice bonus.
I mean, having someone sit for 18 hours behind a wheel, yeah, I can understand why they might quit.
What?
We should basically just said that they had a driver quit on them 18 hours behind the wheel. I think she's supposed to mean like 18 hours like in total, not necessarily one job. But I'm just like, 18 hours behind the wheel? Yeah, bloody hard up and quit as well, love.
I think it would depend on how much I'm being paid, but I'm guessing not enough.
He was asleep for 19 of them. Oh, right. Oh, blood and sand. Alright. Okay, brain, think. What we're doing. It's been one of those days where everything just seems to happen all at once.
You're at home, you're playing a video game. You're on camera. Watch what you say, try not to get cancelled.
Oh, okay. You're like 2 to 3 objectives ahead of... That's not bad. How are you finding the map, anyway? Oh, I do like the maps. I like some of the differences that you can make, that you can see. So on the one before prior, there were quarries that were full of water, and you actually drained them out and watched the water level drop. And I thought that was a nice little touch. It wasn't just a cutscene and hey, the water's gone. It was the water slowly came down.
RevTed reminds you to keep your clothes on.
Well, I mean, I'm keeping the clothes on that you can see. And plus, why does people always tell me to put clothes on? I just don't get it. I'm at home. I can be naked if I want to be.
It's not that kind of channel. I
Well,
can
darn
recommend
it.
places for you to stream if you want to have your clothes off.
Ooh, extra money on the side. I like it. Right, I was going to go to the steel beams facility, but you want me to deliver a vehicle out to there.
Oh god, Banana came back at probably the wrong moment in time.
That's fine. She's used to
Please
it.
don't encourage his stripping. I'm not encouraging anything. I am saying that there are better places to do it than Twitch, where he would get banned.
As long as I keep it tasteful.
You're not even allowed to show a nipple on Twitch.
Well, I'll get a little plaster and stick it over it.
And I'm not entirely sure if that works. I can't quite remember.
Well, I mean, yeah, probably have to like do something about all the hairs around it, because I think that would cause the plaster not to stick as well. But, you know, we can try. Okay, Saber. I'll see how things go. But I appreciate the offer, Michael. Good point, yeah. What happens if I'm doing an engineering stream and it's like a bleed nipple?
The hell's a bleed nipple? Do I want to know what a bleed nipple is? And I think tassels do work if body painters can use pasties. I think basically body painters, yes, they've got to use pasties, but it's basically not to be. The nudity has to be justified.
Can I say I'm hot? As in, like, body temperature, not just, ooh, that looks to be a bit of a... Okay. That would explain why I can't go that way. Or does it? Yeah, it probably does, actually. I don't trust this vehicle to make that gap. Okay. To the Batmobile. Let's see what else. I mean, I could technically take something else out, but I want to go make use of the scouts and, you know, scout. Yeah, absolutely, Arthur. You perfect example. I could be there with, you know, bleeding nipples and draining cocks on Twitch and not get banned. I could even tighten my nuts.
I have a feeling you're doing an engineering thing.
I mean, I better be doing an engineering thing, because if it's a biological thing, that a lot hurts.
And I think we'll be against TOC.
And plus, I could do the whole naked thing and not be sexual on stream.
Yep. It's within reason.
Yeah, the reason is I'm warm. It's hot outside.
I think that doesn't work because it's like, well, if it's that hot, don't stream. You have to have a reason to be naked that's also the reason for the stream that isn't sexually charged.
Look, I'm old. I do not charge into sex anymore.
Oh, I know you too well. I could say so much to that.
I have a clothing allergy. I love it. It's warm. It's hot. I'm a loon. How deep is this? Yeah, that's deep. Okay, so I'm probably going to be putting a sand bridge in there.
We appreciate Chiron's ability to behave because the Lord knows that my cat won't. Oh,
I can behave.
you're testing me there, Nana.
And yeah, I'm perfectly capable of behaving. Thank you very much.
I would like to reiterate we are behaving badly.
Yeah, it's a behaviour.
That is a form of behavior. So, you know.
There's no fancy animal stuff in it. Ooh, fairly decent interior though. I kind of wish they'd left the ability to zoom, because they've put so much detail on the inside of these, but I can't read everything. And I just feel like it's almost like an affront to the texture artist. They've put all that hard work and effort in, and then you can't see it properly.
Have you tried the good old-fashioned Crichton way of zoom?
Yes, but then I just get really sore eyes. Right, so I ain't going that way. Keep pressing M. That's a bit soggy.
By moving your head closer to the image you want to see. For anybody who doesn't remember the Brimmill method.
Detail would be if you could hide shit in the glove box and in the, forget what they're called, but the little flaps used to protect your eyes. What, eyelids?
I think they mean the little panels that you flip down to stop
Oh, the sun visors. Yeah, I do need to sort of maybe look at doing stuff for channel points, because I appreciate a lot of people have got fuckloads of channel points, and I'm like, I don't know what to use them on. That's a... Why does that workshop icon look almost like it's underground? Is it doing the same on all of them? Oh, because that one definitely there. That's the base there. Relay is the base of that building. But this workshop doesn't appear... It's almost like it's really, really, really far underneath. It's just a bizarre... What the hell are you doing? Apart from failing? Why are you failing? Everything else made it up there. Oh, no rewards remaining. Awesome. Let's just cancel that route. Yeah, if you get all the rewards, it's better to cancel the route because the AI drivers are... They're supposed to have done something to fix them? Make them slightly more reliable, but yeah, no. Right, let's get some sand on the go. Oh, I don't want to shop. Well, I do want to shop, but I don't want to shop. So, quick look what... I don't think I actually unlocked much exciting. No, I won't. Oh, do I go with the crapper sander?
I think we do also have to define the fiddlesticks as side roof unable to recover without external assistance.
Wait, no. Let's...
Not just stuck in the mud.
Oh, you son of guns. Right, okay. So it's going to be a lot of back and forth. And let me park this up at the point where I can pick up sand. Only 20k experience of that. Yeah, Jeb still works. Oh, actually, it's a bit further back.
Oh yeah, Jeb.
It is kind of sad what happened with Kerbal Space Program. Alas, there will be no more KSP2. There we go, that's close enough.
They got bought out, didn't they?
Yep. Yep. Bought out, and then the studio sold on... Well, the IP sold on, I should say. And that's it. There's no more for Kerbal. But apparently they're going to be doing basically Kerbal in space just with kittens. Oops. We'll just shit some sand there.
Can we remember who got the Dubru Watson IP?
Well, I think it was like Take-Two Interactive has like basically fired everyone, and then they sold it on, but I don't know who it was sold to. But I don't think it was a firm of game developers, from what I read. It was more just a case of we've got hold of the IP now.
always strikes me as a bit of an odd investment.
Yeah.
But oh well.
Excretion occurs.
And I'm guessing that Kerbal Space Program is still present on Steam. And
Yeah, that's caused a bit of an issue. A lot of people are kicking off like you can go and buy Kerbal Space Program 2, but it's never going to get completed.
right. I was talking about the original.
Oh, the original. Oh, yeah, that's still on there.
Yeah. Because it's one of them where it's like, there is a bit of hoo-ha on Steam a lot of the time about, oh, there's unfinished games, there's games that never made it out of, sort of like open beta and early access and the rest of it. And it's, I think to a certain degree, people just need to accept that you've got to pay a little bit of attention to these things. And, own it. If you think back in the day of physical stores, if there was a multiplayer game that was only a multiplayer game and the shop only had one copy of the game and you bought it not knowing that it was multiplayer only, and you got it home and it was like, this is multiplayer only, then you could take it back to a stop, try and get a refund. Refunds on PCs are a little bit weird at times, but there was some onus on you to basically make sure that you knew what you were buying and purchase responsibly. Now, I'm not saying that, Steam is completely flawless in all of this. But, one of the first things that I do anytime I go to buy a game is just double check to see what state it's in. And if it's got a mostly negative score, just go read a couple of the reviews. Sometimes the reviews are bollocks. And it's like, oh, don't buy this game because, the studio's just out to make money. And it's like, I think you forget what gaming studios are.
Wasn't there something for Roadcraft where someone was complaining, like blaming the devs because they took the damage out, therefore they drove like idiots?
Oh, I can't. There's been lots of silly complaints with Roadcraft. The way that me and Hawk play Roadcraft apparently is impossible.
Oh yeah, controllers, yeah. It's impossible to play with controllers. You heard it from the Roadcraft community, apparently.
Because it's digital, not analog. Although I'm pretty sure the person complaining about it was also using those terms incorrectly.
Probably.
And yeah, there's lots of complaints. But so if you go on Steam and you see, I'm guessing Kerbal Space Programs 2 is negative.
Yep.
Or mostly negative.
It's
Kerbal Space Program 2, 45 quid still.
Yep.
Recent reviews overwhelmingly negative. All reviews mostly negative. It says that it's early access. The last update made by this developer was over 12 months ago. The information in the timeline described by the developers here may not be up to date. And if we scroll down to the reviews, Recently posted, this is abandonware and the worst of one worse than the original KPS in every way except graphics. Don't buy this game, it's dead, unfortunately. Huge hype, game cancelled, no refunds. Do not buy this game as it will never be released. Good game, no more updates though. Sad times, abandonware. So yeah, if you look at it and go, that looks interesting, let's just have a look at these reviews, it doesn't take long for you to realize that it's been abandoned. And so you might go, I'm not going to spend 45 quid on a game that's been abandoned. The money will be going to, depending on, so you've got Intercept Games and Private Division, the publisher and the developer. You've got Take-Two, who bought the developer, if I'm right.
Believe it's
And
yeah.
Take-Two have sold on the IP of KPS. So the money will be going probably to Take-Two, unless this investor who bought the IP basically specified that we want to own the Kerbal Space Program 2 aspects of it all. The money, the publishers, as long as they're not out of business, will be taking their cut. Steam will be taking their cut, and then it will go to Take-Two Interactive.
Who seeing is they've fired all the dev team, don't pay any money to the devs.
But it depends. So yes, but it also depends on a little bit about the terms and conditions of what they paid to get Intercept Games. So if a company goes bankrupt, it can either happen one of two ways. It can either happen as a privately held company or a publicly held company. If it's a privately held company, then they basically sold to Take-Two, and Take-Two paid them X amount of money. And they did a runner with it, basically saying, yep, we've done fucked up, we don't think we can recover from this, we're just getting out of the business, give us money and we'll leave. And so Take-Two is possibly, £1 million down on that. So the fact that they're getting some of that money back through the ongoing sales, despite the fact that it's abandonware, may mean that they never get all that money back. They might do. If it was publicly owned, then the investors in Intercept Games if I loaned you 20,000 to start up a video games company, and you started up and the game wasn't selling well, and then you basically sold your debt onto Take-Two Games, I now have somebody who I can turn around to and say, hey, this studio owed me money, you now own that studio, you now owe me money, and try to get your money back that way. Not saying that it will work, not saying that it should work, it's all a little bit. But if Take-Two have taken on that debt and paid off the Intercept Games debtors, then again, they're out of pocket for this quote-unquote purchase, and any money that they will get will go to offset how much money they've spent on this. This is all speculation. But at the end of the day, you know, if you do buy Kerbal Space Program 2, one, you really need to be paying some level of attention to reviews, because everything says don't. And two, the money isn't just going to sit there in Valve's accounts. Some of it is, but the rest of it will be going to relevant people, relevant places that may or may not have had anything to do with the original game. Probably not, because like you said, they shut down the studio and have likely moved on with a lot of the fired the staff. They've moved on.
Also, has anyone had any experience with that French game that's going on? Like Eclair 33 or something?
Eclair Obscura Expedition 33.
That's it.
What do I don't know much.
I'm just kind of curious, because it's one of these things I could probably go and have a look at, like gameplay videos and all that sort of jazz. I just haven't done that yet. I'm just kind of curious as to what exactly is it. Just like a third-person-y style Nier Automata thing?
Oh, it is turn-based.
Okay.
But it has some level of reactions on other people's turns. So while it's your turn, your guy will stand there and do nothing until you say, shoot him with the gun, or stab him with the knife, whatever. But you want to be watching the enemies, because they will try to strike you, and you can dodge and you can parry.
Okay.
Dodging is easier, parrying is more difficult, but parrying builds up your ultimate faster. Can't remember the exact narrative that they use. And this ultimate, this energy that you can gather goes to enhance some of your abilities.
Okay.
It's interesting in the narrative. Don't want to give too much away.
I have it on good authority from a not Frenchman that it is the Frenchiest game to French. And I just like the look of it, so I'm kind of like tempted by it.
I don't know French very well, so I can't tell you whether it's the Frenchiest game to ever French. But I can tell you that it's set somewhere near the Eiffel Tower.
Which is usually located in France.
Which is usually located in France, unless they're using the replica one somewhere in Vegas.
I thought you were going to talk about the replica one in Blackpool.
I mean, you could use a replica one in Blackpool if you really wanted to drag the game into the dump.
Yeah, we couldn't afford the game in Paris, so we've just gone to Blackpool. Quickly get your Kiss Me Quick hats on.
But yeah, I like the premise. I've only really played the prologue so far. It runs okay on my computer. But I will say that it is not the smoothest thing. But at the same token, it's like, I'm okay with that. but I think you've got a slightly newer build computer than I do. But yeah, it's... I'd say it's well worth a shout.
Yeah, because it's one of those, like Sarah said, heard it's pretty good. I've read some of the reviews, sort of cautiously trying to make sure it's not just spoil stuff, and a lot of them are, this is good, why are you waiting, why are you wasting time reading the review, go for it. And there's a lot of reviews out there that seem to be very positive for it. And it's just one of those where it caught me interest when I first saw it, and I was like, games generally don't tend to do that to me much nowadays. It's very rare that a game comes along and I sort of see a little bit and go, ooh, that looks good, that looks interesting, I want to know more. Oh Christ, I keep forgetting, gotta stop doing the... I kind of wish that the turret rotation for this was on different controls.
I will say that the game doesn't pull any punches in terms of there is in-game words for things that they do not care to explain. So the first time that you'll hear it, it's like, what the fuck are you on about? But it, you pick up on context clues and the rest of it and go, oh, that's what they're talking about. Eventually. But yeah.
That's fine. I mean, I don't mind as much, as long as it's, like something you can sort of pick up on and whatnot, because sometimes games seem to treat the... I mean, they treat the player as if they don't know anything at all about the universe, which is true, but in the context of the character, they should know. Which is, unless they've done the whole, oh, you've got amnesia. Oh, yay. Because I know that's...
Yeah, there's none of that in this. It's basically, very much...
almost like the character knows it, so you're just expected to find out as you go.
Yes.
And that's fine. That to me seems like a decent enough mechanic. I kind of like that thing.
I wouldn't say that it's a mechanic per se. It's just one of them where it's like, I remember sitting down in the first half hour and being so like, you're talking about things, but I have no idea what you're talking about. This is going to be interesting, but I need to just put up with it just a little while longer for the context clues to play out. It doesn't handhold you in those regards, which if you're fine with, then that's fine. It's just I feel that sometimes because there's so much of it, you can be left at times thinking, I have no idea what's going on here. And I appreciate that some people might not appreciate that kind of experience.
I mean, I live in a constant state of I have no idea what's going on here, so, Right. Deliver the cargo truck. Oh god, you're miles out. Let's not worry about that. Let's go deliver. No. Visit the steel beams. And let's get into my little pooty vehicle. Because I want to see if I can drive across here. But yeah, as I said, it's just one of those that kind of grabs my attention for the aesthetics of it as well. From what I've seen, it looks gorgeous.
The aesthetics are very good. My only concern, to a certain extent, and I've not experienced this yet, is some people have said it's all like it has a bit of a Dark Souls element to it.
Oh.
But there's all, for me, that's all like, I'm not sure how that's going to play out in a turn-based game.
We don't get those where I come from. So, I need you to go see exactly how bad we're talking here. Take a look around and report its current condition.
But with the reactive mechanics of dodging and parrying, I could potentially see where that's going to come into it.
And I'm assuming you're like on controller when you've been playing?
I've been using a controller, yes.
Okay.
But, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, the devs recommend playing with a controller with this game. I remember when I launched it up, it was like, you play with a controller.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't actually have a decent controller. I have a controller somewhere. Can't remember if I've actually got it here or not. Which is at the Steam one, because I needed something to replace a controller. And at the time, I was like, oh, seems to be all right. And it has weird things with it, and I don't like. But I've also sucked with controllers as it is. Especially thumbsticks. My thumbs do not want a thumbstick.
I think it's mainly for the reactionary stance on it. I don't think, because it's a turn-based game, moving around and whatnot, yes, that's going to be control sticks and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I also wouldn't say that it's, 100% crucial to get everything perfect.
Yeah.
Because, you eventually get, whenever you get into a fight, it's not, oh, you need to, aim for this guy's noggin and whatnot. It's more just, it's your turn. Pick a menu option. It's their turn. You might need to engage in a bit of QTE behavior, paying attention to when they're attacking you, and push this one of two buttons at the right moment in time. Which I don't find too bad on a controller, but it's one of them where it's like, I've generally found that because I've had a controller ever since I started playing Resident Evil 4, which was some years ago now. And there's a fair few games I just don't use a controller on, even though I could.
Yeah.
There are games where it's like, J-Station is playing Duke Nukem 3D.
God, that's a... Sorry, that's a throwback.
Yep, on the N64. So it's all controller. Or was. I'll let him... I'm not entirely sure what he's playing it on now, because there was something the N64... There was something going on, I can't remember what exactly, but he's decided that he's either getting the Switch or the PC edition. But he's still going to be playing on controller for that retro feel.
Yeah.
But I did turn around to him and say, I'm all for you doing the whole retro feel, but at the same token, if you get stuck at a certain point, if you own it on the PC, you might, if you get stuck because you can't kill all the bad guys because the control stick's being a pain in the arse, you might want to just consider putting the controller down for a moment and shooting them with a mouse click.
Yeah.
Because, I would not play Duke Nukem 3D on a controller, personally.
Well, it's weird because when I first... Duke Nukem 3D was actually my first-person shooter. I never actually played Doom before it. So Doom, to me, felt weird because it didn't have everything Duke Nukem did, because Duke Nukem came after Doom. But also, it wasn't mouse and keyboard. When I played it, it was keyboard only. Now, I think you could use the mouse, but it was such a foreign concept. It was all arrow keys that I had set up. So that ages back, I used to reset every single keyboard command to have the arrow keys because that's how I grew up playing on keyboards. So I'd have my hands, usually I'd sort of sit almost like this because I'd have my hands like scrunched up onto the arrow keys if I needed to use the other keys on the other side, or I'd sit with the keyboard shunted off to one side and have my left hand over my body to hit the arrow keys whilst I used the mouse. It took quite a while before I started getting used to WASD, because what I liked about the arrow keys was without having to look at the keyboard, I could put my hand down there and know where my hand was because I could distinctly feel the shape of the arrow keys. Can't really do that with WASD. You get used to it after a while, you know, it's like I'll put my finger out and find the F key. And then I'm like, oh, I know where I am. But there's still that moment where I'll be pressing E to go forwards because I haven't put my finger on W. I don't know whether, because I've now got this new keyboard, if I can find like specially textured WASD buttons and then just swap the keys out.
I mean, for me, you could probably do that. But, you know, your other alternative is just know that if you're playing W and your guy isn't going forward, your hand is not in the right position.
Yeah, I know, but it's one of those, especially if you're trying to do something that involves a little bit of reaction. If you press...
you should have gotten your hand into position way before the reaction is needed.
Yeah, but sometimes I'm like, oh god, my head's itchy. Oh shit, I need to do. But it's another reason why with this new keyboard, one of the reasons I went for it was playing a game late at night. Didn't have the light on above me because I couldn't be asked turning it on, and then I looked down for the keyboard and I couldn't see what the fuck I was trying to see because I just blinded myself with the monitor. Whereas with this, the keys are lit up and I've done it so that they're, you know, the WASD keys are red, so that if I look down I know exactly where to put my hand and all that jazz. It just makes things a little bit easier for, you know, the old man in me. Back in my day, the keyboards didn't light up unless you put a torch under them. Although I'm sure there was probably some form of colour lighting keyboard that I didn't know about, but it probably cost about 500 quid.
Yeah, it's all fine and well, that whole backlighting of keys, until it fails. I'm just slightly bit of the backlighting on my keyboard's failed, so you know, when it's late at night and the lights are dim, I just have to push and hope. And like I say, you know, if you press what you think is the forward button and you don't move forward, that's not the forward button. But you know, at the same time, I get what you're saying. But with that, you know, it's like for me, just like. Because I used to be an arrow key kind of person. But then I got bored with how many games wanted so many things around the WASD. You know, you've got lean left, lean right, reload, interact, crouch, sprint.
Oh god, what did I used to have? Because I remember playing one of the Rainbow Six games and it was still arrows, and I think delete lean left, page down lean right, end was reload, home was fire select, 0 on the number pad was stance down, so yeah, crouch prone. Yep. 1 was stance up, control was interact, because normally I'd have control as crouch. But yeah, I had controllers interact. You also had the shift for run. The enter key was another interact button, and I think 5 on the number pad was grenade because I knew it was an easy one to hit. But yeah, I think it was sort of after that period of time I was like, yeah, I'm struggling to even get this to. Yeah, as you were sort of saying, there was so many things that you needed your hand over the WASD for, and the other aspect for me was it was just getting too uncomfortable, and I just basically said I'm going to have to, you know, live with the times and go WASD.
Yep. And this is the thing. It's like, for me, it was also one of them where it's like they wanted so many keys, and there was a period of terrible programming, where tutorials weren't
Yeah.
reflective. So it'd be sort of like, oh, you need to press the E key to open the store, and it's like, it's not bound to the E key. You just tell me what my fucking button is, and it's like, no, it's the E key, and it's like, oh. So I think they within that period that I kind of got used to it. It's like I'm just gonna run with whatever the fuck defaults the game throws at me.
Yeah.
And these days, I very rarely change from them. Because of that. But I do know that games tend to be a little bit more reactive these days, and be sort of like, yes, press this button, and that's a button that you've got mapped. Occasionally, it'll even tell you it's like you need to press this button to do this, but you don't have one mapped. Go to the options now. But again, we've shifted from the arrow keys over to WASD. When I got... When was the last time I played Resident Evil 4? Resident Evil 4. Well, I played it in 2005. No. That says 2005. I last played it in 2021. Because it's a 2005 version of Resident Evil 4. Because they've re-released it and completely updated it. So, back in 2001, I had the Xbox controller and I played it. I used it to play Resident Evil because that game was designed for a controller. And then I put the controller down because I then started playing a lot of games that didn't require a controller. And weren't explicitly built for a controller. But over time, just playing one or two games, Euro Truck Sim, Snow Runner, Resident Evil 7, trying to think of some others that I always grab the controller for. Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn is probably my best example because it was designed to be played using a controller, and the controllers don't suffer with multiple import issues. You press right bumper to bring up your weapons. You can choose one of your weapons. You can press the X button to craft ammo for it. You can press A to be dodging while running, while rotating the camera around, all at the same time on a controller. Now, I'll admit, that's a lot. And when I first started playing it, I couldn't do half of that shit all at once. I'd be like, I'm out of ammo, I'm running away until I can make myself some more ammo. But even just in the little bits of running away, it's like, well, if I do it now, maybe I don't have to completely run away. And when I get the ammo, I can just quickly turn it around and start shooting again. And then over time, I built up familiarity with the game, with the controller, and what buttons I needed to press. And, now when I'm playing Horizon Zero Dawn, when I'm back up to practice with it, I can be sort of like, yeah, fuck it, run at the enemy, change weapons, craft some ammo, aim at that guy, shoot him, switch over to another weapon, slide on the knees, shoot that guy, and dodge out of the way. Very fluidly. I don't think I could accomplish that on a keyboard and mouse. Because of the sheer number of controls that I want to use and how far and just jabbing the wrong key and the rest of it. Whereas with a controller, it's like they're all ergonomically designed to be where they need to be.
Yeah.
And Horizon Zero Dawn has done a very good job at that.
So what I'm hearing is if I want to play Horizon, I need to really learn how to use a controller. Or get Horizon and learn the controller.
I would recommend Horizon Zero Dawn with a controller.
Because I'm hoping this keyboard also solves the issue I have had in this game alone where multiple key inputs haven't been accepted.
Yes.
But
Yeah, that's one of the benefits of a mechanical keyboard and a controller is each button has its own button. Are you crushing something there?
Tree stumps!
Oh, have you got them?
I've got the mulcher!
Fair enough. Do you have the thing that allows you to cut down trees yet?
Haven't picked that one up yet, no.
Okay, so no deforestation just yet. You're just gonna drive up and down this section for quite a while, just mulching those stumps.
Yes. I mean, I'll get to the point where I've actually technically got to mulch them, but, wanted to get some of the vengeance out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the in-cab view I kind of like. It very much reminds me of an Irby. Like, handwritten notes on things, and I love it. Oh, speaking of, right, okay, I need to remember to do that later. I'm going to put that as a reminder. I need to see if I've got a spare Hunchback Mini, because a friend of mine gave me an idea for a colour scheme, and I'm like, it's glorious. But yeah, basically it's the Hunchback of Notre Dame, but as a Hunchback.
Fair enough.
Just laid a cable technically over a fallen tree. I mean, if it lets you do it.
One of the things that I will say is, personally, I prefer the Xbox controller over the PS5 controller. And I would recommend getting a recognized controller.
Yeah. So like getting an Xbox, because they should work on PC, shouldn't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, if you get the Xbox controller, I'm 90% sure that it's nearly identical. It literally is just the one that they use for the Xbox itself. But yeah, Xbox controller, and you can just plug it in.
Awesome. 8-bit do controllers are good as well. Okay. It's one of these things, so, as I said, I got that Steamy one, don't particularly like it. Maybe tempted to look at getting a new controller if I'm going to go, because I want to play Horizon. It's another one of those games that I don't know too much about, but I've looked at it and the aesthetics look amazing.
One of the reasons why I personally say go for the Xbox or the PS5 controller, and I think you can get a PS controller for the PC. PS controller for PC. How to use a DualShock 4 wireless controller with PC, Mac, Android. This is straight on the PlayStation's website. It's got, just instructions on how to do. But yeah, the reason why I'd say go for the Xbox or PS5 one is simply put, as it's their only input method, or only officially recognized input method, they have spent far more money than Steam, far more money than any other controller company, are getting something that works well enough for 90% of people. He's not joined the chat, I don't think. No, he's not here yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can get, I've just taken a quick squint at the 8-bit controllers, and they've got some interesting options. But it's also, it's like, they've got some that, I think, a majority of them? Oh no, that's an 8-bit one that's in a PS formation rather than Xbox formation.
What's the difference?
Yeah.
Apart from Xbox are generally fat and chunky, from what I've seen.
I can't really say. I'd actually have to go away to the boyfriend's and pick up one of the PS5 controllers to be able to say the major differences in size. The other thing is, on the Xbox, the thumbstick on the left, it's at the top and the D-pad is at the bottom. On the PS5, the D-pad is at the top and the thumbstick is at the bottom.
I was going to say, from what I remember with PlayStation, the thumbsticks are like both down at the bottom.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's nothing wrong with either of them. I kind of personally prefer the Xbox layout, but like I say, these guys have spent far more time and energy getting these things working and comfortable for 90% of people. The 8-bit do controllers, yeah, they've got some interesting looking ones, but they also have some interesting looking ones that are sort of like, oh, that looks like an experiment that may or may not work. In my humble opinion. And also, one of the things that I want to throw a question mark over it is, it hasn't happened in quite a long time, but I do remember having a controller and having a game that said, oh, we've got controller support. So I plugged in my controller and it's like, but not that controller. And it's like, so what you're telling me is, and you had to dig into it, and it's like, yeah, we support the Xbox controller or the PS controller and no third-party controllers. And it's like, all right, well, screw you, I'm just going to go back to playing on the keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
At the time. But, the Xbox and PS5 controllers are more universally recognized. I also hate the games that don't support keyboards as well as controllers, or where the keyboard port is pants. Yes, I fully appreciate that. So Horizon Zero Dawn, I've not tried to play it on the keyboard and mouse, I'll admit, but that's because it is a game that I felt was, it was a PS exclusive for a while. So it was designed to be played with a controller. And even when they ported it over, I didn't bother to try to find out if it was a good port to the keyboard.
Eight-bit dudes will support different factors. There's a Switch on mine, so I can flip between Switch, PSX, Xbox, or PC. Ooh.
Hello, Hawk, by the way.
Hi.
Oh, hello.
I have both controllers here, if you have any specific questions.
I think the thing that I need to do is basically sit down with them, figure out what works, because I'm not. The last controller that I used to play a lot of games with was the Sega Mega Drive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, since Sega Mega Drive I then went to PC, I don't have any other fancy. Never had consoles, so my controller skills are lacking. I've played a few games at like friends' houses and stuff like that, and utterly sucked, which is kind of what I think is what put me off going on controllers, because I knew I wasn't good at them. But then, like anything, it's a case of practice, and you get better at it.
Yeah. Well, it's in the same way that I am more accurate and better at first-person shooters with a controller than I am keyboard and mouse. Despite everybody my entire life telling me, "Oh, just switch to keyboard and mouse, you'll be better. Like, you'll instantly be a better player." No, I won't, because that's not what my muscle memory and brain is used to. But I'm sure, equally, if I just threw the controller in the bin and did nothing but mouse, eventually I would get better. It's like, no, for casual gaming, I am fine with this controller. It's what I'm used to. It's what my brain understands. This is how I play games.
Do you even link to the controller? Okay, I'll have a look at it. Thank you.
One thing that isn't commented on much is the PlayStation controller is noticeably heavier, which some people like that. They feel it's a quality thing. It feels like a more quality product. Other people say, after a few hours of holding it, it gets a bit uncomfortable. But I've honestly never noticed a real difference. But it is.
Yeah, I was about to say I've not noticed a massive difference in that. I can't say that I've actually noticed that there is a weight difference, but that's
For
because
the Xbox ones, you can take the battery out as well, which will make it even lighter than it already is. If you just want to, because if you're using it, can you do it wireless with a PC? Have they fixed that now? It used to be that to play on PC you had to plug it in.
No, I have wireless. I just I got bored of buying and trying to recharge new batteries for the controller, so I just started plugging
You
it
can
in.
just buy a rechargeable battery pack, and then your problem goes away.
Or I could just use the wire that I've already got, stick it in there, and play it.
I'm only messing you because I have exactly the same thing. I've only got one rechargeable battery pack for 3 controllers. I'm not paying 90 quid for rechargeable batteries across the 3 of them.
Yeah. So yeah, mine's without batteries. So by that argument alone, yes, I do believe the Xbox controller is lighter than the PS5 controller. The PS5 controllers are specifically wireless and have built-in lithium-ion batteries. So you can't take them out.
Yeah, I'd probably be playing wired anyway. So that's kind of what I'm used to.
The sort of games you play, it really doesn't make a difference. Like, you're not playing a hyper-speed competitive game. Yeah.
Oops.
Yep. You've not fiddlesticked it, have you?
No. There's a button to fold the crane, which seems a bit weird. And I accidentally hit it and folded the crane up when I didn't want to.
Fair enough.
Which is annoying because it's right next to the button for the crane grabby job.
But like I say, without repeating myself too much, get a decent controller. Yes, you might be looking at spending more than you would like to on something that you're not sure if you.
To be perfectly frank, I did that when I bought the steering wheel. That was a kind of a gamble. And I don't regret that. It has made Euro Trucks such a joy to play. And I appreciate, you can just have as much fun with your controllers and stuff like that. But for me, Euro Truck is a game where I can quite happily sit there in cab view and drive because I have the steering wheel.
Yeah. And I would be tempted, it's one of them. If I played a lot more racing games, I would be tempted to get a steering wheel. It's just, for me, when it comes to racing games, I probably play them like once every 3 years for like 2 months, and that scratches my itch, and I don't play it for another 3 years.
Yeah.
So for me, investing in a steering wheel didn't really feel justified. Not for, I prefer what's it? A steering wheel over a controller if I was playing a lot more of them kind of games.
Yeah.
But for me, it was like, no, a controller, it'll have that. There's just so many games, especially from certain eras, that are very much, the ports to the PC were terrible and didn't really offer controller support. And just in some cases, it's because of the way that it's designed. Assassin's Creed is a classic example of this, because your tools and your abilities are laid out on screen in the pattern of the 4 buttons on all controllers. So you don't even need to think, am I pressing A, B, X, Y, or circle, square, triangle, cross? You just know that you need to press a button that's at the top, and it'll do that thing. And there's nowhere on the keyboard and mouse that you can do that kind of mapping.
You do it with the arrow keys, or your numpad, I guess.
As a yes and no. So if you're using the mouse to look around, you're using WASD to move around, and all of a sudden there's a quick time event, you're having to drop one of the two to get your hand over there. Whereas I was mentioning earlier with, sort of like Horizon Zero Dawn with the Xbox controller, I can be spinning the camera around, I can be aiming at the enemy, I can be running in a different direction while reloading, while changing and restocking the ammo on my weapon, dodging out of the way because all of the buttons are there. Because the game is designed for a controller. I do not think that I have the mental capacity to do all of that on a keyboard and mouse with the keys being wherever they're at. I might be able to do. I just don't think I could. And seeing as though I've got a controller, why bother?
One of those people that does struggle with heavier controllers with disability. To put in perspective, if I get a new mouse and keyboard and don't play games with them, my wrist still hurt for nearly a month, due to just the new white layout orientation and so on and so forth. Relatively light off-brand controller, still foxy drafts throughout a few hours. Not encountered any games that don't pick it up, but only bought it for the games where they are basically awful for keyboard. And yeah, it's... I suppose, yeah, it's just a way of getting something else to consider with controllers is you're holding them, whereas keyboard and mouse are just resting.
Unless you go with the old style fighting stick controller.
Oh god, yeah. Arcade controllers. Or you can
But
use
at the
the
same
joystick.
But at the same token, you tend to only have one stick on an arcade controller.
Hmm.
You can have as many as you want.
Fair enough. But in general, it's expected either left hand, right hand on the stick, and then the other one on the buttons. But
And true, yeah, there is that. I'll be able to try Panana's controller as well.
I think one of the other things that it's all like. Yeah, being able to use Panana's controller, or find somebody who's got one of these controllers and just use it until you decide that it's for you or it isn't for you, that particular controller. Because this is the thing, it's like when I got the Xbox controller, I can't remember how much I paid for it, but it wasn't the cheapest thing in the world. You can pick one up, Xbox wireless controller wire, or Robot White, 40 quid. 50 quid if you want fancy colours.
If you're going to spend 50 quid, one thing Xbox has got going for them is they've got really good customization options. If you order one direct from Microsoft, you can choose all different colours of buttons and styles and frame colours and customise to your heart's content, rather than paying 50 quid for a standard black one.
But it's one of them where it's like it's still 50 quid, and I'm glad that I've enjoyed the Xbox controller. If I didn't like the Xbox controller, I'd be a little bit miffed that I spent 50 quid on it, or even 40 quid. Because it's like, yes, I spent 40 quid on this thing that is now collecting dust. And yeah, if you were able to get into a position where you could try both and figure out what's best for you before you invest, that'd be great. But
do you not have like a gaming cafe or anything nearby that you can just go and have a look?
Maybe.
Keep your
I'd
eyes
have to have a
peeled
look.
for suitable pipes and a valve.
Because we've got one near us that you can go in, have a coffee, and they've got consoles and stuff.
New customization options at Corsair. You can order printed and matching keyboard, mouse, desk mat, headset. I mean, that'd be kind of awesome, but I don't need a new... Well, maybe need a new mouse. This one's... The mouse wheel's going a bit. But it still works, so I'm kind of happy with it. But yeah, I've also got the tower sorted, and But it's nice that they're doing things like that.
I've only had negative experience with Corsair. I know that people speak highly of them, but I bought a mouse and headset from them and they both broke within 12 months. So I don't think I could bring myself to buy any more of their stuff.
how expensive was the mouse?
I can't remember what the split was, but it was over 100 quid for the pair. I think the headset was like 80 quid. And within 12 months, neither of them was working. So I just went, nah, not buying them again.
Fair enough. See, for me, it depends on how much I'm spending on the mouse. While I was poor for a while, I would just straight up go to Asda and pick up 10 quid special. And they could last about a year and then just die.
Well, even that, though, isn't strictly true, because I've got like a go-to pair of keyboard and mouse that I use for any work computer. It's like your basic Logitech keyboard and their version of like an ergonomic mouse. And I have used the same £10 Logitech keyboard for about 8 years now. And apart from taking the keys off and giving it a clean, I've done nothing to maintain it. and it's still going strong. Still, all the buttons work. A couple of the keys have, the numbers worn off in places, but yeah, it just seems to be a case of that's one of the things that's cheap and reliable.
I'm not discrediting them. I'm basically saying sometimes it is just worthwhile buying the 10 quid special, and rather than investing heavily, but at that same token, with a controller, I think this might have been mentioned before you got here, anyway, but one of the things I said was, if you're going to buy a controller and you're unsure, I would recommend getting either the PlayStation or the Xbox ones, because they have spent far more time, money, and effort in controller design than any third-party company.
Of course they have.
So they're most likely to have got it the correct-ish. Yes,
even if it's not correct, it will fit the majority of people, because that is what their market is.
Yeah, whereas, third-party controllers, you never know when you're looking at it, that it's, this was meant for a bit of a niche market where they preferred things to be big and blocky, or a niche market where they preferred this or that. And yeah, whereas those two they've invested more than most people, so they're good starting places.
I think it's fair to say, between them, they've probably invested more money than most people will see in their lifetime into perfecting their controllers.
The Fernando's got a Corsair keyboard and mouse, put it with a lot of stuff for a long time. Keyboard's been through some shit. Let's get some poster rails for all the desk mats I've gotten lately. Now I'm kind of interested in that. Logitech can be a Spectrum either a year or 5 to 8 years. I mean, my old keyboard, I don't even know if it's a branded one. It still works, it still runs. I had to tape the power cable to it because it had to be held at an angle for it to work. But I've had that for God knows how many years. I said it's only just a few games where it wasn't accepting all the key commands and some of the struggles I have. I was like, you know what? I'm going to change up. That really made me go for a new keyboard. And discussing with them at work for someone who needs a keyboard at work as part of the Access to Work scheme. And one of the guys was discussing mechanical keyboards is what got me thinking, I'll try for one of them. It's just this one was on offer and I thought, let's go for it.
I know I'm in the minority, but I've never liked mechanical keyboards.
Yes, you're in the minority, shush.
It's just, I don't get the appeal of a big clickety-clackety keyboard. Like, I specifically look for the quietest keyboard I can.
Yeah, that's fine. It's something I'm getting used to, because I definitely didn't get it for the sound. It was more the ability to use more than, like 4 keys at a time. Getting used to the sound is going to take a little bit, but I also don't find it a bad sound myself, but then I'm the one in control of it. I can imagine if you were sort of sat next to someone who had a mechanical keyboard, I'd probably want to murder them.
Oh, yeah. Anyone that buys a mechanical keyboard and then takes it into an office deserves sacking, as far as I'm concerned. But...
Oh, yeah. I would never take my mechanical keyboard into work with me, because it will be very much just like, yeah, I'm being a dick here. But I do kind of prefer the clickety-clackety. It's just who I am. I like that sound. You can get quiet mechanical keyboards. They are a thing.
They are, but then what's their defining feature? If you haven't got the click and the clack,
right?
You may as well have a regular keyboard with the rubber buttons.
Yes and no. For an office, The rubber buttons, fine. Go with your 10 quid as to special.
Logitech,
For-
thank you.
Whatever. For the reason why, and this is one of the reasons why my cat bought a mechanical keyboard, is the way that a cheap keyboard works is there's
The membrane.
like 2 layers of membrane, and when you push down on the key, it presses those membranes together, forms a circuit, and by working out exactly where on that wire it was pressed and where it was pressed on the vertical wire, it knows which key you pressed. And so if you press 2 keys that are completely different places on the keyboard, yes, it will recognize both of them, like a Q and an M. Because it will go, okay, well, we got something on the top wire, and it's got to be all the way over there, because the top wire says that it's all the way over there, and it's Q. Over here, we've got something on the lower wire, and it's close to us, so it's got to be the M.
At least it's not too bad for now.
But if you press 3 keys very close to each other, like Q, A, and S all at the same time, it goes, well, we know that they pressed the Q and the S because they're on different lines, but it completely ignores the A because they've already accounted for the top row left column with the Q and the second row, second column with the S. It just completely invisible that you've got the A, which is first row, second row, first column. Mechanical keyboard completely gets away with that, gets around that because each button press is its own signal to the keyboard's controller. So, if you needed that kind of manipulation and, your average office worker doesn't, there may be some weird and wonderful software out there for the office, like 3D animation or CAD or whatever, that requires convoluted button presses for shortcuts in rapid succession. Then maybe you want a silent mechanical keyboard. If you're a gamer and you want silent and you want the responsiveness of mechanical, you might want to look into a mechanical silent keyboard. At the same token, if you're not getting any problems,
Too shabby, is it?
just stick with whatever keyboard works for you.
Yeah.
So don't
I
break anything.
am fully on board with whatever the fuck works for you. I've spent 70 quid on a mouse before now. I really like my 70 quid mouse for certain features. When I could no longer get a 70 quid mouse with those features, Logitech somehow tried to justify it's now 150 quid mouse for the features that I wanted. I was like, nah, fuck that, and I went back to cheap and cheerful mice. My keyboard, I like mechanical, I like the sound, I also like the responsiveness, and I like that mine, it has a full aluminium body. I like the fact that it's got a it's not a D-pad, the number pad.
Yeah.
If you give me a short keyboard without the number pad, I will throw it in your face. I do not care how good a quality it is. I need my numpad. And it's silly little things.
Yeah, I'm pretty much a numpad whore. So sorry, I'm just going to catch up with chat a second.
Yeah, sorry, I kind of ranted there for a
That's
minute.
fine, that's fine.
I know everybody knows the difference between cheap and mechanical keyboards.
Membrane is the technical term. I know because I've been looking for keyboards at work. I swear by Sennheiser headsets. Here's a hot take. The Xbox 360 controller is better built than the Xbox One, although the latter has fractionally better geometry. Ooh, interesting to know. Have I shown off the new keyboard? No, not yet. Never tried a mechanical keyboard. We've sort of pretty much covered things about keyboards on Zero. So the feel of it is one thing, but unless you know specifically and you've got a really good reason to get one, a 10 quid Logitech will do just fine. As I said, mine was more for the gaming aspect of it.
Just remembered another aspect of mechanical, but I'll get to that in a moment.
Last time I used a mechanical keyboard was an Atari ST. Was that one of your rebuilds? Where's Banana Meat? Does it have customizers with RGB? I use the number pad for non-standard characters in text, such as Manhattan Cafe versus Manhattan Cafe with a... you can get that with pressing Alt, GR and E to get the little thing above the E. Some of the standards, or I say standard, some of the more common accents, if you press Alt, GR and the letter, it comes up with it. Why did I do that? What was I going to do? Oh, I was going to take shit out there, that's why. I just had a complete brain fart then as we were talking about everything, and I was building a bloody sand rod, and I'm like, why was I doing that?
There near the river should be a good place to set up your base of operations. In the meantime, we're being asked to do some...
One of the things is, it's like, I see where Saber's coming from, although it's one of them where I don't care enough to memorize the
Oh yeah,
alt numbers for them, because I've just tried it on my keyboard and it is very French favouring, because Alt U gives you the U with an accent. I'm a very German orientated person. I wanted the U with an umlaut. And I cannot figure out how to do that on a keyboard. But anyway, one of the aspects of mechanical keyboards is it tends to click before it reaches full decompression. Why is that beneficial over a membrane keyboard where it's pretty much silent until you've... Well, it's pretty much silent even when you hit it hard and reach 100% of decompression, it's still silent. For repetitive strain injuries, if you're a heavy typer, a mechanical keyboard, when it makes that initial click before you do a full decompression, you know that it's done its job, so you can stop pressing it. And that's before you've hit into the hard surface, that is the full decompression. Now that's a very unique situation. You probably find that 90% of people don't need to care about that whatsoever. But I do know that if you are using a keyboard and mouse a lot and you are relying on just some kind of haptic feedback to know when you've finished pressing the button, a mechanical keyboard will give you that click before it gives you that clunk. And it is that clunk that can, if you're very heavy typist, cause issues with your fingers. But, again, it's one of them where it's
What's
like...
a fancy paint scheme on that one?
I'm very passionate about these things, but I will also say, just whatever fucking works for you. If you go for a short keyboard where it's only got the main set of keys, you don't even have the arrow keys, you don't have an numpad, and it's membrane and it's ultra slim and it's ultra light and it costs you 10 quid from Logitech, you do you, honey boo. I do not care. It's just when
it sounds like you've got it in for Logitech keyboards.
I was thinking more. It very much sounds like you do care. I don't know what's given that away so far, but
no,
I
I care about my keyboards. I don't care about dictating to everybody else to say you should have a mechanical keyboard or you're an idiot. I care a lot about my keyboard. And that's where the passion is coming from, but I don't want that passion to be misinterpreted as I think everybody should have a mechanical keyboard, and if you don't, I think less of you. And it's like, no. You do whatever works for you, The reason why I said Logitech was because every time I said 10 quid special from Asda, Hawk would correct me to say that it's a 10 quid special from Logitech, so I put Logitech.
That was more when you said your options are mechanical or cheap. It's like your inference, whether intentional or not, is mechanical is better. I appreciate what you're saying. That's not what you're trying to say, but that is how it came across at times.
Oh no, I fully appreciate that, but this is why I'm also, saying explicitly, I care about my keyboard.
I'm
I don't
sure it
care.
cares for you too.
Oh no, it does not give two shits about me. Not with the amount of abuse I put it through. But it's all I care about my keyboard. I care about what goes into my keyboard. I don't care if you go for a cheap keyboard or a expensive one or a mechanical one or a membrane one. Fuck it, you can even go for an Apple one, and I'll only judge you slightly on that.
Oh, don't say
What about
that.
an Apple mouse?
They were given at work a few years ago. They were given devices for people to use, and of course, it's all Apple products. And unfortunately, for some of the stuff I have to do at work, I have to use an Apple iPad pod thingy, whatever. Just thankfully at the moment they don't know what the unlock code is, so I haven't been able to use it, so I've just been walking around with my laptop, which works. I'm kind of hoping that I can get away with continuing to walk around with my laptop and being like, I'll just keep walking around with my laptop because this works. But I have not really used an Apple product properly. I remember going into a PC World once, back when I used to do that for looking at PCs, and going up to a Macintosh, grabbing hold of the mouse, going to right click, realizing it didn't have a right click button, and literally leaping back from it like it had to play, going, ah! Like, what the hell? It was so surprising to me as a kid that it didn't have a right mouse button. I was like, what's gone wrong with this thing? But I appreciate that some people enjoy their Apple products, and you do you. But yeah, thankfully the two of the people I work with, they were against all this coming through, but because it was where I work is split into national and local levels. So we are at a local level, we have some things that we can do, but the national organisation will provide us with things, and that's what we got here. Because national said, hey, we're going to get these. Probably because they got to deal with it from Apple or whatnot, I don't know. Or they just thought we'll go with it because all the cool trendy people have this. Is there anything else that I can grab whilst I'm here?
Yeah, I'll keep my judgment to Apple products to this. It's like, if I wanted to be overcharged for products, then I'd buy Apple. But until they stop selling the same crap that you can get on a PC for far cheaper, I ain't never going to touch an Apple. Thank you, and goodbye.
My main gripe with them, well, apart from the price is a big gripe, but my main gripe is the proprietariness of it all.
Oh, yes. And that's part of the pricing thing.
Whoop, 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 whoop. You said you were done with your Apple commentary.
It's alright, Karen, you can load up your stream if you want and continue there.
I may just do that.
Because I only just noticed the time.
So did I.
And I'm reminded of that video of the guy. God, how old must that video be now? Where he rants about Apple products for an age, and then right at the end of it, it's just like, yeah, I made all this using a Macintosh.
Oh, Um, so this isn't my rant. This is this guy's rant. It's sort of like
That sounds like a loophole to me.
I'm gonna have to
It is
try.
a-
I'm gonna try and find the video afterwards because the thing because it's the when
So
Apple did
when
the,
Apple updates your files, it doesn't just automatically update them. It asks you to click on the specific file that needs to be updated. And when you click on a file name, it clears it out. Oh God, I've just renamed this file nothing, and now nothing is working. You delete the file and hope to restore it, and it crashes your computer. You run screaming to PC World and buy a copy of Norton utilities to try to undelete this file, run back to your computer, install this software, and it goes, you idiot, you own a Macintosh, your file is gone, it's just fucking gone.
yeah, I'm gonna have to find that video because it's gold. It's old as hell, I can imagine now, but you know, hey, the internet, it'll be out there somewhere.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, it's very much in the brain, but
Yeah, I mean, we watched it many times. I remember that much. That and Trip in the Rift was the other one that we watched a lot of. They actually made a series of that.
yes, I remember it becoming a series. I can't remember if I've watched the entire series, but yeah.
I've never
Anyway.
seen anything past the pilot. Yeah, you go get yourself sorted for stream. I shall be along shortly.
Yep, I'm gonna run for a coffee and a drink and then sort myself out. But I will be over on my stream shortly. Thank you all for putting up with my bullshit. And I shall tell to you all
He's
next
not
time.
bitter about cheap products or Apple.
I'm not actually bitter. I'm passionate about my stuff. I don't give a shit about your stuff. Good day, I say.
Oh, you're gonna pick this one up. That's fine. I was just gonna drag it like a loon.
That's all I've been doing. Because this thing is very powerful, but only with its stabilizers out. So anything kind of that size, I just have been dragging it.
Yep. But yeah, I'll give it a few minutes and then I'll wrap up stream. Just let Caron get a chance to get sorted.
Yeah.
I do love it when he goes on his passionate rants though.
Yes, I think something might have triggered him a little bit.
I'm trying to remember what it was. He once started a stream up, and then I think it was like an hour into the stream before he actually started the game he was playing, because he just went off on this really in-depth, passionate rant, and it was brilliant. So half expect to go watch his stream, and it'll be, you know, mechanical keyboards part 2. But yeah, and I sort of mirror kind of what Karen was saying. You know, I have mechanical keyboard for my own gaming needs, my own wants and desires. Oh, that doesn't sound good.
I just hopped in your dump truck and it jumped up about 6 foot in the air.
No, I was happy to see you.
Yeah, never mind, it's working now.
And to be fair, it's been probably over a decade since I actually touched a mechanical keyboard, so it's actually kind of nice to do that. But it's so the main reason was the gaming aspect of it. Playing a lot of games kind of makes sense. I have the old keyboard. Should this ever decide to play up, we shall see. I've not really used Corsair products much. I have friends who have, and they've not had issues. But then I'm also aware that issues do exist. So
Yeah, I mean, like I say, my personal experience with them was not good, but equally I'm aware that there are thousands and thousands of people who buy their stuff and have no issues.
and every time that you get mentioned about the Logitech keyboard, just reminded that's what we use at work. We have, I think we have like a deal set up with like the supplier, and we just buy them in bulk. Wireless mouse keyboard combinations, dirt cheap, bog standard, nothing special, nothing fancy, but it gets the job done, and you know that they're decent enough pieces of kit. My only gripe with it is wireless. I've just, before I started working, I never really understood the wireless aspect of it. I kind of get it a little bit more now, and I'm a little bit less, well, God, wireless, I won't touch it with a barge pole. But I am very much a messy wire person.
Yeah, no, so I'm the opposite. I'm wireless everything if I can. Just to try and keep a neat and tidy desktop.
Yeah.
There's also the element of, as rarely as it happens, you can get your wired mouse, so your cable will get snagged on something, and you'll just have that annoying sort of like, I wanted to put my mouse over to the left, and now it's got stuck, and now I've got to fight with it.
Yep. I get that occasionally. And I'm hoping when I get my new desk, that will be solved, because it's at least another half this desk width wider. It was a fire door.
Oh, okay.
A very, very sturdily built fire door. I don't know where my friend found the advert for them, but yeah, there was a place selling a bucket load of fire doors. So they bought them. They bought, I think, 3 or 4, with the intention of turning a few into baseboards for model railway layouts. They then tried to cut into it to trim parts of it out, and it is an absolute nightmare.
Fair enough.
But yeah, we've made a desk out of one. A few IKEA legs to strap to it, and yeah, it's a very thick, solid desk, which is, you know, door width effectively. We've actually trimmed part of the edge off so that I have a monitor riser built in.
Okay.
And it's still wider than this desk here. So at least, because currently my mouse does catch against my speakers, which can get a bit annoying. But so I'm hoping when I get the desk in, that becomes a thing of the past, because the speakers will be at the back of the desk. But yeah, I have slowly come around more to the whole wireless side of things with work.
Yeah. I mean, one other benefit I found is because I semi-regularly travel for work, and having everything wireless, when I'm packing my desk up,
Yeah.
I've got a spare charger in my bag ready to go. So my kind of process for packing my stuff for work is literally just mouse, keyboard, pick them up, throw in the bag, pick up laptop, shut laptop, unplug, in bag. You've not got to worry about taking it out, make sure the cables are all untangled, and
Yeah.
it all just slots together neatly. Again, it's a work thing. You don't need millisecond response times. That used to be the big thing about wireless, was all, I can see the lag between my inputs and the cursor.
Yeah.
Like, you're clicking on an email, it doesn't matter. But...
Okay. Let's get this delivery done. Oh wow. So the scrapped cars, they actually have steering for the wheels. Or at least the wheel.
Okay.
It's just I'm carrying one, and the wheels actually, like, it's like the steering's obviously broken, but it's bouncing back and forth on the steering hinge. It's not just like a solid model. They actually have got like little bits of animation to it. It's a neat little touch.
The doors on some of them open as well.
Yeah.
If you strap them to the back of your truck and go flying around a corner, sometimes the doors will fling open.
The level of detail in this game is astonishing.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot more. Like in the Snow Runner and even Expeditions, which was meant to be more about exploring, it did feel that yes, the maps had a different feel to them, like a different environment, but you could go for quite a long time driving around and not really see anything unique. But these maps, they seem to have crammed a lot more unique assets in the maps than they did previously.
Yeah. I mean, whether we still think that when we get to the later maps is to be seen, but...
Oh no, I'm not... I've not. I wouldn't say I'm near the end, but I've played most of the maps, not anywhere near to completion. But the only map I've not unlocked is the last one. And yeah, there's some repetition. Like you'll look at it and go, "Oh, this is another sand map," or
Yeah.
"This is another green map." But yeah, there's enough differentiation between them, and there is still shared assets, but not anywhere near as in your face as it was with SnowRunner.
Do you need more metal?
I might do if most of this falls out the back.
I'll let you grab that next one. I love the fact that this thing is just being crushed by the car. Yep, the background audio is good as well. And yeah, they do feel more lived in, even if there's no one else around. I think the AI stuff does help with a bit of the feeling that there's people around, even if they are drunk and not to be trusted.
Yeah.
Right,
And as annoying as she can be, having an actual woman telling what little story there is,
yeah,
that also gives a bit of context to what you're actually doing. Whereas in the previous kind of SnowRunner expedition, you were basically making your own story. You got given a mission and you kind of, in your head, went, oh, I'm going to save... Like, you might get a one-liner about Pete needs some wood at his house.
yeah,
And you'd go, okay, but what about a delivery? And you had to kind of make that up yourself. Whereas there is actually this person's doing this, we need some of this, please can you help? Oh, beam down, beam down.
Oh no! Where are you taking these anyway?
You've got like 3 different objectives that require delivering metal.
Oh, okay.
Bring steel beams to the Highland base. Store resource steel beams, and store resource steel beams. So I was going to take all of this to the Highland base and hope that is like 3 missions. I just don't know where the Highland base is. Down your little sandy road, turn right, and just keep going. Okay.
I will be along with anything that drops out.
I've only dropped 1 so far, and the rest look like they're fairly secure back there.
Until the Kraken decides it wants to have fun.
Yes, there is every possibility this could explode in my face and they'll end up everywhere, but they're fairly stable. The only kind of vehicle that I've had regular issues with is that big vehicle carrier, to the point where I've just stopped using it.
Oh, right, yeah. My brain just went off on a tangent to the annoying sand dump one. But yeah, no, the large trailer one. Yeah.
Yeah, the flatbed one. For whatever reason, that's just kind of flipped out on me a few times, and I'm just like, can't be bothered, I'll use something else.
Yeah.
That big dump truck is also surprisingly good at moving cargo. But like all of them, it's just that thing of, well, if I get there and I need a crane, that's really annoying.
Yeah.
But if it's a case of you get there and it magically disappears, it's brilliant.
Right, I've got the other beams. I'm on my way. From misery to happiness today. I love the fact I can tell where the dump was stored and jumped because there's a perfect ring of sand around it.
Yep, where it all flew out as it landed.
Yep. Store X missions actually stack, so 4 beams and 6 beams isn't 10 but 6. Sounds like that might be a bug more than anything.
Okay. Well, we can double check, but I thought when you get the stuff in the storage, you go into the mission and say transfer resource, so it takes it out of storage. But again, we could be wrong. We've got more than 10 here anyway, so it doesn't matter either way. Is it this side? Ah, yes, there you go. There you go. 17 beams dropped off. It's like one of those snakes that tries to make itself look big and intimidating. Ooh. Concrete slabs. Concrete slabs, okay, so... Oh, you need to deliver 5 metal beams to the Highland base. So 5 of those we've just put in that storage need to actually go in the base.
Fudge, into the actual base. Right, yep, okay. Resource storage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go.
Where's the concrete thing? Construction depot, sawmill, warehouse.
No, wrong button.
Where the hell is it? Do you not have a concrete slab facility yet? Or am I just being blind?
I haven't come across one.
Ah, that could be a problem. Oh no. I'm going to guess it's in this big unexplored square then. Got any scraps knocking about now?
Yeah, I'll drop this off and then I will see about finishing up. So I realised I said that earlier and I still didn't do it, but seeing as I'm right next to this objective, might as well get it done. And then we shall go see how Charon's doing in his Age of Dragons. See if he started again. Might still be going on about Apple products and keyboards.
Almost certainly.
Alright, okay. That's all them done. Oh, handbrake off, handbrake off.
Yay!
Mission completed!
Look, you're just making it harder on yourself by doing such a great job. Now they want you to blaze a route from the Highland base to the transit point. Your performance does make me look better, though. So, keep it up, and please, be careful.
Oh, I've just unlocked a new base.
Yes. Where's that?
Roadside base. Oh no, No, they're both showing as locked. Oh, the Highland base is the one we're at. Because you've got the roadside base, and you've got the river base. But both of them need concrete slabs to unlock.
Hmm. well, it's something that we can look at later, because I'll
Yeah.
hold off doing this until we're all back in again.
Cool.
Let's hop back to this, and then I can wrap up. Oh, wait. Also, let's go see if I'm going to get a fiver. Yep, still chatting.
With multiple environments and the Thief Gold update, which includes 3 new campaign missions, which deepen the.
Oh, he's not doing Dragon Age.
What's he doing?
Thief.
Forza Horizon 5.
The Dark
Oh,
Project.
Thief.
Ooh.
Is that a new one or an old one?
That's the first one, I believe.
Oh, well, that was just called Thief.
Oh, I think it is the original Thief.
Oh, yeah.
Right, okay. Well, let's go and... get the raid sorted. Right, so I'm going to go raid on over to Caron, where we can still catch him yapping about something. And then maybe playing some Thief, we'll find out. Yeah, big thank you for everyone coming along. Thank you, Hawk, for popping in and helping. Thank you, everyone. Whoever you are, wherever you are, whenever you are, it's been a pleasure having you. I hope you'll join me on the raid over to Caron, but if not, no worries. Until next time, toodles!